Content warning. This video is about a sensitive topic involving violence, assault, and loss of life. We've removed any graphic or descriptive content to comply with YouTube's guidelines. The aim of this video is to provide informative, factual journalism on tragic events in the public interest that does not dismiss its seriousness. All clips shown are under the doctrine of fair use for news reporting and analysis, and some points made in this video are simply opinions and theories. I'm not responsible for third-party information, and this video is being made purely for artistic, educational, documentary, and scientific purposes.
Yo, peace, power, prosperity. Hope y'all enjoying your day so far. Hope it was productive. Hope it was smooth. Hope y'all got done what you to get done. If you didn't get it done today, hope you got a plan for tomorrow. All right. Hope your day was proactive. Excuse the tiredness. I'm dog tired right now, but I'm here. Right. I'm gonna talk about it. Couple of theory points about this war conflict, couple of videos, couple points of views, couple of tweets, couple of joints from IG. That's the plan, that's the scheme for tonight. Appreciate all the support, appreciate all the love, the comments, the shares, the subscribes, putting this in the algorithm, getting my views up there. I appreciate the support, especially the people who go to extra mile and crack open that wallet, that little coin purse, you feel me, and toss some shillings in the bucket. Y'all know it's a love thing from here to there. Welcome back to the town square where all is clean and all is fair. Village gang. Let's get it. Usual suspects as usual. My man 100 gram. M Love, what up, J? So 2 nights ago, we heard stories about BB not being here anymore, right? They knocked BB off. My partner and we was on the phone for a minute chopping it up. We came up with two really good theories, right? On one hand, with the propaganda machine that happens along with war, clearly it's already in motion, right? Clearly you're getting bias reporting, especially when you talk about legacy, right? And the MSM. It's few places that you feel like you could go and get just a non-bias, strictly there for information purposes, conversation, updates, information about what's going on over there, right? But I found one. I believe I found one on the Twitter. Shout out to Kim Iverson, actually put me on to this. Shout out to Kim Iverson over there doing God's work. She actually put me on to one of the people on Twitter that's dropping just information, right? Doesn't seem like it's left or right. It's just information. Do what you want with it. Mod of the year is in the town square. V Moy, what's up? Crash into them buttons on the way into the town square. That's the only fee. That's the only fee to enter the town square. Crash on the button. You heard? Put some pressure on that. And the theories that we came up with, knowing that they want to take him to a tribunal for war crimes, this is a perfect opportunity for him to actually fake, right? Him being dead and disappearing into the night. That's the first thing we came up with. Perfect time, perfect way that he could just disappear. The second theory we came up with is he really is dead and it leaked. So now they had to run these anti campaigns to say no, he's not, no, he's not, no, he's not. most times in what we've known, right, what we've seen is normally when a general, the field general goes down, it tends to have an effect on morale of the troops, right? And then you say, well, Trin, that's horseshit because look at Iran. They lost a bunch of their leaders, right? Defense guy is gone. The Ayatollah is gone. I think one of the Ayatollah's sons and daughters is gone. And a couple other guys. I think it was like 9 of them on that first run, like that first day of U.S. Israeli attack runs. They knocked out like 4. But Iran has that in place and that contingency in place, right? Iran has that contingency in place. The dude was already an older guy, right? Probably didn't have that much years left here anyway. So it seems like Iran kind of set themselves up in that pattern and placing already, right? And from what we hear on the street, they are moving independently. So they all moving independently, but they still synced. Like they all have these areas to cover down on, and that's what they're doing. So it looks good for Iran, but it won't look the same for Laercy, right? If Laercy's big dog, the PM, is knocked off, that will be more of a devastating blow because if you look at how Laercy props themselves up, they prop themselves up like this roaring lion, right? Even if you look at how they name certain things, right? There was Operation Roaring Lion, right? And this one was Epic Fury and the Iron Dome. A part of the Iron Dome is called like David's Sling, right? They use these terms that are so, they have like a biblical sense, like a real proud like connotation that's directly related to Laercy. So if the big dog goes down, that's a hit against pride and morale. When troops have these morale conflicts, right? Or this dip in morale, they tend to not be as cohesive. Cohesion breaks down. And as small as Laercy is, Laercy don't have the leeway to break down, be disjointed. As soon as that happens, it's pretty much a wrap, right? So me and the homie was chopping it up, but we came up with those scenarios. We just talked about it for a good 30 minutes. And it's just, you have to kind of use a lot of your discernment. You have to use a lot of your discernment. Simply because wartime propaganda has been a thing since the very first wars, right? They put out bad information. What's the point of putting out bad information or into the same reason? Cause dissent, break, shift morale, right? Paint the picture as if it's going one direction when it possibly is going in the other direction. Bolster social confidence, right? Boost social, let's say, boost the manufacturing of consent to where people of the country, the non-combatants of the country, feel this great pride, right? To not be on the losing side of something, right? Just like when you go to the Olympics, people tend to have this great push for their countries. Like, remember back in the day, when America had Maurice Green, right? Michael Johnson, Trinidad had Otto Bolden, right? The 3 fastest men on the planet, right? They were fast, and it was 1, 2, 3 constantly. Nobody else was there. It was America and Trinidad just running like dogs. 2 countries back to back, gold, silver, gold, silver, gold, silver. I think it turned out that Michael Johnson took most of the golds over Maurice Green and Otto Bolden and them. But still, right? Everybody has that pride for the nation winning. They have that pride and they push and they support and they rally behind the country's representatives. Another form of propaganda is misinformation. When you misinform people, it's not just to say like only people that's listening to the news from Learcy is Learcy, right? Other people are listening to the news from Learcy. Same way other people are listening to the news from the USA. The same way other countries are listening to the news in Iran, in Iraq, in Saudi, Kuwait. Everybody's listening to everybody's news because those are information points. You understand? Therein lies the misdirection. You can misdirect people for good intention and bad intention, right? But that same night, though, me and the homie chopped it up, and we came to the conclusion that he was not, right. We came to the conclusion that he's still alive, and because he's such a slimy guy, we still don't think that he is actually in Learcy. When we had this conversation, I want to say Sunday night or Monday night. Was it a Sunday? Hold on, I could tell you. I gotta just look at my post. But not posted it. That'll tell me exactly one night we chopped it up on. But either way, it was recent. Yeah, I'll tell Bolo Trinidad then, yeah. Those times in track and field to me, those were the best heats, man. Those just was live. Used to go down. That was some good times. And you know what? I don't even remember Jamaica having a track star at that time. Up to today, I can't remember them having a track star. It's crazy. Yeah, but 2 nights ago, which would be, what's today? Today's what, Wednesday night? So yeah, it was Monday night. When me and homie was on the phone chopping it up. And that's kind of like we boil it down to, like, he's not even in Learcy, right? He's not over there. He's not in Israel. Israel is Learcy, by the way, in case y'all don't know. You know, you got to use these weird words in this censored free speech world that we are supposed to be living in. I don't even think he's there, bro. I think he's running that. And the crazy part about it was the countries that we named was USA and Germany. That's what we think that he was at running his mouth from, right? Talking to his people, I guess you could call it. Reaching out to his people, let him know that and giving speeches and stuff. So we came out to the conclusion that he's not dead, right? He's alive somewhere, running his mouth, acting like a fucking tough guy. But it's kind of been exposed, right? He's really, really, really slimy. They just committed a genocide. And it's not like we can act like it didn't stop it. We can't act like it's not real. We all witnessed it. It's something that's real. It's sad, right? We're looking at an individual that has a bloodthirst, right? And you know what? I'm gonna pull it up. That I brought it up the other night, and it's a couple of things that we brought up the other night that I did look into. Me and Love and Dallas and Nap and Messi was in here chopping it up and talking about the whole shit. And a couple of things came up that night, questions I wasn't clear about, just because I haven't heard certain terms in a while. So I did look up some things. So let's chop it up about those things, and that's it. We'll just have a nice chill night, bro, for real. Hit them buttons on the way in the dough. You know it's a love thing, dog. From here to there, have no fear. The town square is clean and the town square is fair. It's called a Solomon Initiative. No. Solomon Plan. Samson. The Samson option? Why am I thinking Solomon? Yes, sorry, it's Samson initiative. Samson option. Sorry, I was thinking Solomon. Well, clearly, I was thinking Solomon, but it's called a Samson option, right? Let me share the screen. Yo, Michael, don't forget that ever again, G. We run track too, you hear me? That's one thing about Trinidad, bro. They have a good history in track and field. America too, though. Jamaica, from what I remember, Jamaica just came in the last couple of years ranking, like having those sprinters like that. I don't remember them being that high ranked in the world at that time. I don't remember. I mean, and maybe they was there. I just don't recall. So this is right here, the Samson option. Clearly, it's from Learsea. Shout out to my man CDT. CDT is I think he's on right now. Shout out to you, CDT. You already know what it is, gang. Sai, what up, dog? My man, 100 grand, the Cali gangster. So the Samson option is a deterrent strategy of massive retaliation with nukes, right? The real N-word. As a last resort against any country whose military has invaded and destroyed much of Learsea. Commentators have also employed the term to refer to situations where non-nukes, non-Learsea actors have threatened conventional weapons retaliation. So why it's called the Samson option? Because remember in the Bible, Samson, he was inside the temples and he brought it down. Right? So it was all out. Fuck it. I'm about to tear this motherfucker up. Point blank, period. You hear me? That's why it's called the Samson option. There's another one also. Hold on. Maybe they reference it in this article. There's another one. When I find that one out, I kick it to you too, right? By references, Israelite Judge Samson, who put the pillars in the pillars, brought down stability to the temple, ran on the roof, killed himself, 7,000 of the Philistines. Right? It's the fuck it button. Right? If we going down, everybody going down. But you see, think about it like this. How could the Samson option be a thing? And they have the N-word, right? They have N-words over there. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. They want to suppress Iran's nuclear capabilities. USA backs up that option. I mean that strategy, that point, that type of ideology. Okay, cool. But to use your Samson option means that you have nuclear devices. You have this, what you have, you don't want somebody else to have. How are you monitoring somebody else's yard? You don't cut your grass. You let your grass grow 10 inches to a foot long, but you eyeballing your neighbor's yard, right? When their grass is cut, they want to grow their grass too, but you keep calling and reporting to the city. You call in the city every week, reporting them. Their grass is 4 inches, while your grass is motherfucking 10 inches long. You have these devices, but you don't want them to have any devices. The fact that you have devices in that region, does that make you feel big and strong in that region? Well, that can't be the case, because if he was big and strong, you wouldn't need no backing. And now that we're talking about backing, right? And calling in big bro to cover down for your bullshit, we about to listen to Mark Rubio real quick. Shout out to Dallas Libra in the town square, sweetheart. You know what to do. You know what to do. I see you coming here with you and your crew. You only drink wine, maybe a shot or two, but you better not be drinking the cold brew. I'm going back to the studio, man. Let's listen to this pair of fucking shoes. Let me find it. Let me get it. Then we'll go back and talk about bitch ass BB in a little bit. It's right here. Look. Listen to this. There we go. Now, y'all know who this is, right? Old Rubio. Goofy ass. It's playing. Y'all ready? We got good sound.
There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us. And we were not going to sit there and absorb a blow before we responded, because...
Pause. Talking about absorbing blows. You need to do better.
The Department of War assessed that if we did that, if we waited for them to hit us first after they were attacked, and by someone else, Israel attacked them, they hit us first, and we waited for them to hit us, we would suffer more casualties and more deaths. Proactively in a defensive way to prevent them from inflicting higher damage. Had we not done so, there would have been hearings on Capitol Hill about how we knew that this was going to happen, and we didn't act preemptively to prevent more casualties and more loss of life.
Stop.
That's suspicious.
Yeah, that fool just said. We'll play it, bro.
We knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us. And we were not going to sit there and absorb a blow before we responded, because the Department of War assessed that if we did that, if we waited for them to hit us first after they were attacked, and by someone else, Israel attacked them, they hit us first, and we waited for them to hit us, we would suffer more casualties and more deaths. We went proactively in a defensive way to prevent them from inflicting higher damage. Had we not done so, there would have been hearings on Capitol Hill about how we knew that this was going to happen, and we didn't act preemptively to prevent more casualties and more loss of life.
All right, y'all heard him. Y'all heard him. I ain't making shit up. I ain't fucking saying what he said. I ain't transposing shit. I ain't motherfucking summarizing nothing. I ain't. No, this is what he said out of his mouth. I ain't paraphrasing nothing. Let him blow first. Tree Star Reaper in the town square. Salute, gent. My man. That's exactly what's going on. You heard what he said. Now listen to this goofy shit. Boy, when you caught, boy.
With a very clear goal in mind. I haven't got a chance to see a lot of reporting. I don't understand what the confusion is. Let me explain it to you, and I'll do it once again as clearly as possible. Perhaps you'll report it that way. The United States is conducting an operation to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles and the threat posed by their Navy, particularly to naval assets. That is what it is focused on doing right now, and it's doing quite successfully. I'll leave it to the Pentagon and the Department of War to discuss the tactics behind that and the progress that's being made. That is the clear objective of this mission. The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's two reasons why now. The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond against the United States. The orders had been delegated down to the field commanders. It was automatic, and in fact, it bared to be true, because in fact, the Within an hour of the initial attack on the leadership compound, the missile forces in the south and in the north, for that matter, had already been activated to launch. In fact, those had already been pre-positioned. The third is the assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
You got it? You got it.
Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved today.
Yesterday you talked about Israel. Mr. Secretary.
Please, guys, I can't hear them all. Yes.
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked that question.
No, were you the one that? Because somebody asked me a question.
That's weird.
This nigga's scared. Yesterday you talked about Israel. Mr. Secretary.
Please, guys, I can't hear them all. Yes.
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked that question.
No, were you the one that? Because somebody asked me a question yesterday. Did we go in because of Israel? And I said, you were asking me that. You from that follow up, and I said no. I told you this had to happen anyway. The president made a decision, and the decision he made was that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ballistic missile program. That Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ability to conduct these attacks. That decision had been made. The president systematically made a decision to systematically destroy this terroristic capability that they had, and we carried that out. I was very clear in that answer. This was a question of timing, of why this had to happen as a joint operation, not the question of the intent. Once the president made a decision that negotiations were not going to work, that they were playing us on the negotiations, and that this was a threat that was untenable, the decision was made to strike them. That's what I said yesterday, and you guys need to play it. And if you're going to play these statements, you need to play the whole statement, not flip it to reach a narrative that you want to do, all right?
This is your statement.
All right?
This is 24 hours apart. This ain't even 2 days. Two different contradicting statements. I don't like him. I don't fuck with him. Can't say I don't like him because I don't know him, right? But I don't fuck with him. I don't. He's like a pair of he's like a shoe.
States conducted
Look at my dog.
this operation with a very clear goal.
Yo, pause for the cause. My man, OG, 3-star general in the town square has gifted 10 memberships. My man, appreciate the love. Appreciate the extra love. Appreciate all the support, my G. You are officially in the banner and the show sponsor for tonight. As usual, bro, shout out to the 3-star, always pulling up to the town square, always representing, always holding down, always supporting, dog. My man, 100 grand, hailing from the great state of Texas. Big salute, my G. Appreciate it. Share is in the town square. What's up, love? Hope all is well.
Negotiations with
Mr. President, did Israel force your hand to launch these strikes against Iran? Did Netanyahu pull the United States into this war?
No, I might have forced their hand. You see, we were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators, great people that do this very successfully and have done it all their lives very successful. And based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first. And I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand.
Okay. Believe what you want to believe, right? But we got to look at things how plausible they really seem, how honest they seem. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't seem honest. Then that's your discernment telling you something's wrong. And like I mentioned earlier, you should use a lot of discernment. You absolutely should use a discernment to decipher through the propaganda, the fake news, and the fake outrage and the selective outrage and all the bullshit that we're forced to deal with, right? And we're forced to deal with it because we're human. You could duck and dodge and try to hide as much as possible. But what's the reality, right? War affects everybody, especially when your country's involved, right? Especially if your country is being attacked, especially if your countrymen are being read around and left in the street, right? It affects everybody. If it doesn't affect you spiritually or emotionally, it definitely affects people financially. When it deals with, and then when it gets financial, then it stretches over, right? Then it starts affecting you emotionally, mentally. You become uneasy. It starts fucking up your spiritual energy and all these other things. So don't think that because it's not raining on your doorstep today, right? Don't think it won't rain on your doorstep. Let's not inherit that level of ignorant thought. Let's not do that. At the end of the day, we're still human beings. At the end of the day, we're still a part of the human diaspora on the planet. We're different, but we're very much more similar than we're different. And it's the fact that we have to focus on the points that make us different from each other is the exact reason why we are way more similar. If we have to identify the small parts that separate us, that means the major parts are where we're similar at. And because it's not written on your doorstep today, like I said, don't mean that it won't rain on your doorstep tomorrow. Trying to find another bit about this shit. Trying to figure out where I want to go next. Right? It's a lot. Like let's be real. It is a lot of what's the best way to put this? It's a lot on many levels. It's a lot on many different levels. And as human beings, we need to embrace, right, that spirit of compassion, that spirit of understanding. I'm not saying break your back and go crazy. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm referring to is that humanistic factor and that compassion, right, that we have built inside of us. It's there. Don't become colder in these times, because these times are already cold. Right? These times already have enough stress on them. No need to add stress with your own bullshit, right? People will be affected by this all these different ways, shapes, and forms. We just need to keep that in mind, right? We don't know how people are going to react. We don't know, right? And as of early on today, I heard about the Kurds. The Kurds are being rallied to pretty much invade Iran. Bad history already. But with a ground invasion of the Kurds, you'd be stretching Iran's focus, right? Which then gives literacy and America more opportunity to tackle on different fronts. Does that make sense? This is the era of arbitrary dissertation and compassion, so you like it. Fair enough. That should be a law, and our values don't mix them. Have what they propaganda. All the presidents have did something to jeopardize. Absolutely, absolutely. We live in a flawed world. Anytime you introduce money to humans, then you introduce greed, right? Whatever is the value of the time, humans have exhibited greed since pretty much the beginning. Pretty sure cavemen were knocking over other cavemen for their rocks at one point. I'm not above that thought process, if I say so, right? Another thing I came across too was this confusion, right? People were confused about why. Let me see if I should still have it, right? Yeah, I should still have it. We talked about it briefly the other night. Not that one. It was the list of places that Iran had targeted. We talked about it briefly, and it was about where is it? We'll play the Netanyahu video soon. I just want to get this off, bro. And yes, those countries are still OPEC. It came up the other night, and I was confused a little bit because I haven't heard the term OPEC in so long. You hear about really was hearing about BRICS in the last couple of years more than you heard about OPEC. So me not hearing it for all these years, I was like, is OPEC still a thing? But yes, it is still a thing. It absolutely still is. It was this post right here. We was referring to the other night. Let me share that. I ran the tallest building in Dubai. I saw that. Dubai is getting smoked. Dubai is definitely getting smoked. Like I said earlier, I apologize for me looking so damn tired. It's been a long 2 days. But I'm still here. I'm still strong. All right, my Antoine Fisher voice. And this was the list that we talked about, right? And it's the confusion is why, right? Because of the bases that are in these regions, these nations, they have bases, Joint Strike NATO bases, right? Airfields, parking spaces, hangars, satellites. The other thing that they have in those areas are what they call THAADs, THAADs, right? And I saved, where did I find the clip at? I saved it so I could show it to you guys. Like, I don't mind talking to y'all, but sometimes I just like to show y'all a vid, and the vid kind of like, it kind of does not a better job, but it does justice, right? Visuals and hearing is like a double dose of information in 3 days. Yo, dollars, stop it. Fucking suck. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? No, I didn't stash it there. All right, let me pull it. I gotta pull it from, I thought I saved it. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, here we go. Right here. Let me share this one. So these things right here, right, called THAAD, THAAD, it's a thermal high altitude area defense system, right? It's a U.S. missile defense system designed to intercept and destroy short, medium, and intermediate range ballistic missiles during the thermal phase using hit to kill technology, kinetic energy, contact energy, right? Overview. That is a mobile land-based anti-ballistic missile system developed by Lockheed Martin in collaboration with Raytheon, designed to protect U.S. forces, allies, and critical infrastructure from ballistic missile threats. It operates both inside endo-atmospheric and outside, what is the exo-atmospheric, the atmosphere, providing a high altitude layer of defense that compels other systems like the Patriot, the Aegis, the BDM, and ground-based mid-course defenses. Shit's expensive. It's fuck. So they're taking out these. So they're knocking these shits out also at the same time they hitting these bases, which is really strategic in a sense, right? They took out some of these Fifth Fleet HQs and all these other different places. So if you don't have an a defense system, right, an anti missile system, which is ground to air, right, it's going from ground to air to defend. You breaking down a defensive wall of whoever has the THAAD system. Pretty crazy. But that tells you also too, while you think about Iran as some primitive cavemen with sticks and stones and bow and arrows, right? This forces you to actually shut the fuck up and go back to the drawing board and listen and hear what the fuck you're seeing, right? And pay attention to what's going on. This is not primitive shit. It's conventional warfare still, in the sense that it's kinetic, right? It's still brutal warfare, right? It's not AI bots fighting each other. It isn't an information war, right? They get intel so they could prep for kinetic and contact war, right? Conventional shit. This is pretty fucking advanced in reality. They playing with drones. You see, they advanced in warfare. Iran is not some primitive jungle, cave dwelling, half Homo sapien people. They ready to fight, which they've proven these last 4 days. They are ready to fight. They ain't just go. They not just backing out and going home. They ready to fight, and they're making strategic hits at strategic points. But tonight we also talk about the Horn of Hormuz being shut down. I think I have a video for that one also. But yeah, they knocking these out. They knocking out the radar systems, right? The radar systems that control it, so they can't see. If this THAAD system doesn't get good information because they knocked out a couple radars in the region, then it can't track. So it can't do its defensive job, right? What you got, Dallas? Forget Texas Instruments. Oh shit. Okay, some people wasn't allowed to enter Syria, North Korea, and many more because of the chips and other reasons. Check you out. Out here being important and shit. That's what's up. But that region has these systems in place, right? Remember, those regions are used by NATO a lot. And I'm about to explain a concept to you called force projection. Force projection is when you see those videos, right? Or those pictures of you see aircraft carriers, you see destroyers around it, right? A submarine, a whole battle group in motion, right? And they fly up the plane and they take all these photographic ops, right? And it just looks mighty and strong and powerful, right? They look like remember in Baywatch? Baywatch. If we go back in the G, right? You watch Baywatch. And during Baywatch, they have those scenes where they're not really on the beach, but they're really close to the beach on like the strip. It's pretty much a strip that's close to the beach. And when you see those shots, there's always a guy in the background. Like there's the clown dude juggling those pins, right? There's some nice girls in the background modeling and posing. Then there's always those shots, not always, but there's a couple of times you see like a look in the background and those guys that are like hella big, right? Like when you see those pictures of Arnold back in the day when he used to go to that beach in California and lift weights at the beach and do all those push-ups and all that shit, that's what force projection is, right? A whole bunch of muscle, just let's looking strong as a motherfucker, flexing hella hard, right? It projects the ideology of strength. That's what force projection is. They're projecting and showing might. Now, this is the double dose. America is known as a fighting force. The proudest, biggest, baddest fighting force of the 7 seas, right? You can't fuck with them. Them boys is bad. It's not fun. When you have sleeper cells everywhere. That when did I hear that shit? I can't remember where I heard it, but I heard that recently also. Something about sleeper cells. I heard that recently. Riyadh. Right? So this whole let me untilt this. It's still tilted, huh? So this region right here, which we looked at already, we've been looking at this joint for a couple of days now, right? All these areas right here, NATO uses these bases out there. They have equipment out there. So in a sense, there's a sense of NATO protection in these countries. Why? Because they do business together. Right? Look at UAE. UAE is like, it's like the gem, right? Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, like these places are like gems. Qatar. They're NATO-friendly countries. They're OPEC countries. So they've been doing business with the West for the longest time. So with business and them be allowing NATO countries to land and park planes and run ops and whatever the case is on a friendly note, they have a false sense of strength. They have this false sense of camaraderie that when push comes to shove, NATO got their back. Right? It's not that way. It's not. I don't believe that is what it is. Straight like that. I can't remember who it was. I think was it Kuwait that recently got pissed off? I think it was Kuwait that recently got pissed off. Kuwait or Saudi recently got pissed off, right? That pretty much they wasn't getting no love, and Israel was getting all the love. Duh. And now they're talking about boots on ground. That's crazy shit. This is just such a fuck. This is a hell of a region, bro. It's just the terrain alone is an issue. The terrain alone is an issue. Look at all this shit right here. This ain't flat. This is not flat right here. Getting in there is gonna be some fucking issues getting in there, putting proper boots on ground, enough boots on ground to have some effect. It's gonna be fucking hell. You can't fly a big plane like a KC-5 or some shit, or a 10 or a C-130 and just parachute 10,000, 20,000 troops in there. I don't think you have 20,000 parachutes. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be hell getting in. So this boots on ground effort is going to be fucking insane. I've been looking at this thing a little bit all day. Where's the entry point? Where's the entry point? What is the advantage? The mountains. This terrain is rough as fuck. This ain't no walk in the park. Look, these mountain ranges go into these other countries. It goes right into Afghanistan, Pakistan, all the way up in here. Nepal, India, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan. That's not no regular region, dog. That's the word on the street too. Iran got a lot of underground shit going on. Let's listen to Netanyahu talking shit. I don't want to forget about it, so let's do it right now. Yeah, Nepal. Those mountains are crazy. Yo, those mountains are crazy in itself, bro. Those mountains are just bro. Getting in there is going to be a fucking problem. Let me share this tab with y'all real quick. I heard Nepal got nice rugs though.
Well, you're right. I did have spoken about
I heard it on How High, so I don't know. You can take that with a grain of salt.
it for decades, and I try to persuade successive American administrations to take firm action. And President Trump, in his first term, did. He got out of the disastrous Iran deal right off the bat, and he did everything he could to prevent them from going into the nuclear program that they seek to build atomic bombs to threaten us and you, and ultimately to attack both of us and to destroy as much as they can, because this is what these people do. They basically are in the business of mass death, and you're right to call them a death cult. I worked with several presidents. I always appreciated the fact that we had, forthright discussions. Often we agreed, but often we didn't. We disagreed. And I appreciated that we kept the alliance going. But I want to tell you something. I'm not a youngster, so I've been around. There's never been a president like Donald J. Trump. His resoluteness, his decisiveness, his clarity of thinking, the way he gets right to the crux of things. It cuts through all the fluff, cuts through the chase, gets down to the main point, and it gets down to the main action that needs to be taken. And I think for Israel, and I think for the countries of the free world, let me tell you, I think for the world, we're very lucky to have him as the leader of the free world, and in fact, the leader of the world. He's brought America back to being the leader of the world, and it makes a huge difference. And I can tell talking to America's allies in the region, just one by one by one. And I can't quote from these conversations, but I can tell you they all share this, and they all say, thank God that Donald Trump is here. Thank God that the two of you are acting together to remove this threat, not only to you, but to us. Is because they were, after we hit their nuclear sites and their ballistic missiles program, you'd think they learned a lesson, but they didn't, because they're unreformable. They're totally fanatic about this, about the goal of destroying America. So they started building new sites, new places, underground bunkers that would make their ballistic missile program and their atomic bomb program immune within months. If no action was taken now, no action could be taken in the future. And then they could target America, they could blackmail America, they could threaten us and threaten everyone in between. So action had to be taken, and you needed a resolute president like Donald J. Trump to take that action. The reason that we had to act now is because...
That's him. Do you hear what he's saying? June last year. Should the U.S. get involved in Israel's war with Iran? 90% no. Let's talk about the oil thing. Let's jump into that. Yeah, that's the red dresses. We'll talk about that later. All right, here we go.
Impact will it have on the
This is what me and Kofa was talking about the other day when he said, check my phone. This is what we was talking about. When I said, and I mentioned earlier, the rain on your doorstep, right? And this thing is multifaceted. And because it doesn't affect you in this way, doesn't mean there's another way that this shit affects, that will affect you. But this is what I'm talking about right here. Shit like this. Lock in. Let's look and listen.
If Iran blocks the Strait of Hormuz, what impact will it have on the entire world, and which country will be affected the most? First, let's understand what the Strait of Hormuz actually is. It is a small area of just 33 kilometers located between Iran.
That's it. That's the tightest point right here. The tightest point right here. There's ports all along these lines right here on the inside. They were also hit. You know why they were hit? Because America has a navy. They could pull up to these ports, replenish, rearm, restock the cabinets. That's why they hit the ports out here in this region.
Oman, and the UAE. It is a narrow sea passage through which almost 20% of the world's oil supply flows, nearly 17 million barrels every day. This oil comes from
million, not 10 million. Almost 20 million per day.
8 countries located in the Persian Gulf, including Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE for the United Arab Emirates. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Qatar, 90% of their oil exports pass through this narrow route to reach the rest of the world. If Iran blocks the Strait of Hormuz, following countries will suffer the most damage. First is India, because it imports 85% of its oil, and 60% of that comes from Middle Eastern countries like Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the UAE. Fuel prices in India would skyrocket, and as a result, everything related to oil and all industries would face severe disruption. Industries could shut down, there would be job losses, and the economy would be severely affected. The second most affected country would be China. China is the world's largest oil importer, bringing in 10 million barrels of oil every day. 40% of China's oil imports pass through this Strait of Hormuz. Although China has built oil pipelines with Russia and Central Asia, they don't even fulfill 20% of its energy needs. So, if the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, China's economy could suffer a massive blow. And if China's economy is shaken, its effects will be felt all over the world. The third most affected country would be Japan, as it imports 90% of its oil, and 75% of that passes through the Strait of Hormuz. The fourth most affected country would be Saudi Arabia. 80 to 90% of Saudi Arabia's oil goes to the rest of the world through Strait of Hormuz, while only 10% goes to Europe via its Red Sea coastline. So if this choke point is blocked, Saudi Arabia's economy will be heavily impacted. Imagine that a country suddenly loses
Spoken like a true scholar, my G.
80 to 90% of its revenue. What would happen to it? Something similar could happen to Saudi Arabia. There's also a high chance that Saudi Arabia might send in its military to reopen the route, and that could make the situation even worse. Fifth is Pakistan, which gets about 90% of its oil through the Strait of Hormuz. This oil meets around 27% of the country's energy needs. So if the route is blocked, prices in Pakistan could rise sharply. But there's an interesting twist. Since Pakistan shares a border with Iran, and several government reports suggest that 35% of Pakistan's diesel comes unofficially from Iran. So if the strait is blocked, Pakistan might turn to Iran for oil, either quietly or through an official deal. Next in line is the UAE, because as nearly as 72% of its oil exports rely on this Strait of Hormuz. The country does have a backup option, the Habshan-Fujairah pipeline, which allows it to bypass the strait and export up to 60% of its oil. But for a major economy like the UAE, losing the remaining 40% would still be a serious blow. Next comes the European countries like France, Germany, and Italy, which on average get 10% of their oil through the Strait of Hormuz. A blockade here.
See, it comes through Hormuz right here and goes up Suez. It goes right to the Suez right here. Remember the Red Sea? Cuts through the Red Sea, Suez Canal, Med. When you're in the Med, right, you got Italy right here. You got Northern Africa right here. Italy, France, Germany, Spain. Spain, right? Is it Spain? Yeah, then it says Spain down here. Yeah, Spain, UK. Yeah, Spain, UK, Ireland. I think is what this is doing. That's definitely a play in the books. Yeah, that's Spain. Yeah.
Would hit them hard as well. Globally, experts warn that oil prices could soar past $150 a barrel, causing widespread inflation and possibly triggering a major global recession. So this small 33-kilometer area holds enough power to shake the entire world.
Just something to think about. Just something to think about, right? Ireland to the west, Scotland, yeah, okay. Ireland, yeah, UK, Ireland, Scotland. I think that's how it is, yeah. Ireland, Scotland, UK, Spain, Portugal. Yeah, I think I'm right. Don't forget the Houthis started again, so it makes trying to go through the Suez. Yeah, Houthis and the Kurds is acting up right now. It's wild. It ain't no other way to describe it for real. You know what I mean? It's wild times, bro. It is. It's extremely, extremely, extremely wild times. Like ain't no a lot of unrest going on. The potential if this thing carries on is it's crazy. If it keeps going on, it's crazy. And while we're talking about those
This is the greater Israel, according to the Israelis. It is include 100% of Palestine, 100% of Jordan, 100% of Lebanon, 100% of Kuwait, 75% of Syria, 45% of Iraq, 40% of Saudi Arabia, 35% of Egypt. This going and part of Turkey.
Tito chilling, bro. Dose over there in the cage, relaxing. Relax. Let me go close it up. Hold on. I'm glad you said that. You look like you're ready to sleep. Give me 1 second. Boy got his chill on his back and he ready to sleep. Yeah, EJ. Yeah. It's some long frame strategies in it. It's fuck, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's definitely a mixed bag. It's definitely a mixed bag, right? Kurds are back fighting. Kurds are about to start fighting again, coming out of Kurds out of Iraq. They want to push into Iran on the ground side. If you don't know what this guy was talking about, right? What he's talking about is called the Greater Israel Plan, right? I'll show you another map of it in a second, a closer map to what he was trying to show you. 100% of Palestine. Did that not pretty much just happen the other day? Did that not pretty much happen the other day with that damn genocide? Shout out to Megan Kelly. She had a good speech. I think I have it. I'm not sure what happened. I can't download vids right now. Don't know what's going on with that. If I could have downloaded vids, I would have had a lot more vids, like how I normally play them, without using Twitter or the IG. But yeah, I could try to play it straight out of YouTube and see if it's working. But you know how StreamYard be doing me. 100% of Palestine, 100% of Jordan, 100% of Lebanon, 100% of Kuwait, 75% of Syria, 45% of Iraq, 40% of Saudi. This is the map right here. All into Egypt, Turkey, Saudi, Iraq, and obviously this would be Iran over here on this side. But this is the plan. This is what they call the Greater Israel Project or Greater Israel Plan or whatever the fuck it's called. File drives. Yeah, the ones that I download, I have them on my drive. And I just load them into the internet, and I use the internet player to run them back. Let me see if it'll let me do it. With what's her name? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Feeling is no one should have to die for a foreign country. I don't think those 4 service members died for the United States. I think they died for Iran or for Israel. I think I understand how this helps Iran perfectly well. I get it. I mean, I hope. Long term, we'll see. But they seem rather jubilant. 80% of the country does not support the Ayatollah. He was a terrible, terrible man. Terrible, terrible man. No one's crying that he's dead. No normal person. But our government's job is not to look out for Iran or for Israel. It's to look out for us. And this feels very much to me like it is clearly Israel's war. Mark Levin wanted it. It's his war. Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, Miriam Madelson.
Do you agree with Megyn Kelly? Comment below.
Oh, this is it right here, the tag. Having too much fun. They caught on. Shit was going too smooth.
And so Europe will have to turn elsewhere, and the only place they can turn is Russia. So that's bad for the United States.
All right, I said stop. All right, back to the regular schedule of the program. Jeez Louise. Yeah. It's working a little bit. It's working a little bit. Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's it, man. It's some wild times we're living in, dog. It's a lot of uncertainty, right? We're not certain if this is another 12-day joint, another skirmish, right? We're not sure if people are going to just come back to the table and say, all right, let's be smart. You understand what I'm saying? There's a video I want to play. Let me try to get it. If I can't get it, what I'll do is I'll try to stream it straight from YouTube again. We know how that goes. Nope, still not working. Oh my God. This is fucking aggravating, though, I swear. Yeah, I'll try. I'll give it the good old try, bro. I shall. Give it the good old college try. All right. This is from Breaking Points. I ran into them either today or yesterday. Let me share it. Hopefully everything goes smooth and we can get you the video and chop it up like some regular folks. All right, look like it's going smooth so far. Maybe not talk too fast. Let's see what's going on.
Our heavy hitter guest and first-time guest on the show, Professor Zhang. He is the star of the popular YouTube.
Right on cue. Yeah, I have no clue, man. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the download.
Channel Predictive History. He uses game theory to analyze past, current, and to predict future geopolitical events. And he joins us now. Professor, great to have you.
Good to see you, sir.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. So, for people who aren't familiar with your work, I wanted to show folks that back in 2024, you made 3 big predictions. 1, that Trump would win. 2, that he would start a war with Iran. And 3, that the U.S. would lose that war. Let's take a listen to that.
In this class this semester, I'm making 3 big predictions, right? First is that Trump will win in November. Second is that the United States will go to war against Iran. And the third big prediction is that the United States will lose this war, which will forever change the global order.
So obviously that last one is the only one that has not yet come to fruition. Is quite a stunning prediction. Do you stand by it? And what have you seen so far that leads you to sort of stand firm in that conclusion?
So given my analysis of how the war is progressing, I think that Iran has many more advantages over the United States. The reality is that right now, it's a war of attrition between the United States and Iran. And the Iranians have been preparing 20 years for this conflict. In their eschatology, in their religion, this is a war against the great Satan. They've had many practice runs. Last June was a 12-day war when the Iranians were able to examine and analyze the strike capacities of both the Israelis and the Americans. And they've had a lot of time, 8 months, to prepare fully for this new attack. They, through their proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Shia militias, have been able to really grasp the American mentality. And now they have a pretty good strategy of how to weaken and ultimately destroy the American empire. So what the Iranians are doing is they're waging war against the entire global economy. And so they are striking the GCC countries. And not only are they striking GCC countries, American bases, they're going after the critical energy infrastructure of these bases. They blocked off the Strait of Hormuz. And eventually, they will go after the water desalination plants, which is the lifeblood of these nations because they don't have fresh water supply. In fact, the water desalination plant provides 60% of the GCC's water supply. So if a drone, and these drones cost $50,000, if they wiped out a desalination plant in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and it's a city of 10 million people, right? They'd be out of water in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. And right now, the Iranians have de facto closed off the Strait of Hormuz, and the GCC gets 90% of its food from the Strait of Hormuz. So I know a lot of people are talking about the disruptions to the global economy, but right now, the Iranians are actually threatening the very existence of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar. And why this is important is that the Gulf states are really the linchpin of the American economy. So what they do is they sell petrodollars and then they recycle the petrodollars back into the American economy through the investments in the stock market. And right now, we know that the entire American economy is propped up by AI investments in data centers. And a lot of that comes from the Gulf states. So if the Gulf states are no longer able to sell oil, and they're no longer able to finance AI, this AI bubble in the United States, then this AI bubble will burst, and with it will burst as well the entire American economy, which is really a financial Ponzi scheme.
Right.
So that's a dire situation that the Americans are facing right now.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, sir, an Amazon data center was literally hit in the UAE. And now, of course, big tech companies, which were looking at the UAE as a major potential data center investment hub with cheap and abundant.
Hey, yo, lay up off Jiang Hughes, yo. The way he talk. Yo, that girl crazy, bro. Country on the region, then the eastern countries will feel the effect first. This is the thing, right? I don't think he's American. I think he's a Canadian. I think he sounds more Canadian than anything else. He doesn't sound like those American Asians. He sounds more Canadian to me. Either way, he's in this region. I definitely think he's in this region, either America or Canada, for sure. He does talk kind of funny. I peeped it. Trend one.
Energy, probably going to be rethinking that. We also wanted to talk to you about munitions. We can put this next one up here on the screen. The United States is racing to accomplish Iran mission before munitions run out. This is specifically around interceptor math. There's a famous video just from yesterday in Israel, which shows a single Iranian ballistic missile, which is being targeted by some 11 different interceptors, all of which miss. Most of those come from the United States, not to mention all of the different bases, the GCC countries that you just talked about, and the asymmetry of the cost. It's $1 million for a missile, tens of millions per interceptor in some of these cases. With these munitions running out, how does that change the global picture? So you're in China, obviously, much of the stocks in Asia of the United States are likely to have to be cannibalized if this were to go on. How's that going to affect the global picture here?
Right. So my first point is that the United States military is not designed to fight a 21st century war. Remember, the military-industrial complex came to being after World War II, and it was designed to fight the Cold War. And the Cold War was really about muscle flexing, about who was able to send people up into space, who was the first to get the person on the moon, who had the more complex missile systems. And so the entire American military strategy revolves around very sophisticated technology that costs a lot of money to build. And that's what the American air defense system is basically. And that's why we're seeing this asymmetry, as you point out, in this war, where you have these $1 million missiles trying to take out these $50,000 drones. And it's not sustainable in the long term. And so what we're seeing is really the puncturing of the aura of invincibility and invisibility.
Come on. Stop. We was doing good. Come on. Come on now. Come on, Lee. Come on. Come on, Lee. God damn. ICE came in and shut this shit down, huh? This about a bitch. Come on, catch it, man. Catch it. Come on.
A sustained American hegemony for the past 20 years, especially after the reserve currency system, but also the global hegemony of the United States. We're moving towards a multipolar world.
Professor, this morning, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth was asked a question about potential ground troops in Iran. He refused to rule out that possibility. And he said, oh, well, we're not going to project to you what we will or will not do, but we don't want to, rule anything out. We will do what it takes. Do you think that America will end up invading Iran from the ground, since it's already becoming relatively clear they won't be able to accomplish the goal of regime change or even regime collapse using just air power alone?
Right. So everyone says that the worst calamity that could happen in the United States is if it were to send ground troops into Iran. At the same time, the United States are committed to regime change in Iran. We've never had a precedent in history where you were able to regime change from the air alone. You need ground troops. And so unfortunately, what's going to happen over the next few months is that pressure will build on America to send ground troops, especially from the GCC countries and from Israel, which are being pouted right now by the Iranians. So remember that if the GCC countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, if they go, then the petrodollar goes with them. So the Americans need to protect these countries, and these countries are going to demand that either the Americans bribe the Iranians to cease, and this is like $5 trillion in indemnity, okay? Or send ground troops to wipe out the Iranian threat once and for all. And I know that there's no political will for ground troops to be used against Iran among the American people. But remember that 78% of American people was against initial strikes against Iran in the first place.
Right. And one of the things that really comes into question, I think, with all of this, sir, when we're looking at the geopolitical picture and the sacrificing in much of this from the United States on behalf of Israel, is kind of a question as to who and what wanted this. We were actually curious for your view on a disputed report here from the Washington Post. We can put it up here on the screen, F3. A push from the Saudis, Israel helped move Trump to attack Iran. Now, this has been internally disputed by Saudi Arabia, saying that they did not push the Trump administration to attack Iran. However, this is clearly an authorized leak from our own government, trying to at least lay some of the blame on behalf of the GCC. What do you make of this analysis and of this narrative that Saudi Arabia was also trying to be behind this push to bomb Iran?
So I've always argued that both Saudi Arabia and Israel are heavily invested in regime change in Iran. In fact, Saudi Arabia sees Iran as much more of an existential crisis than Israel. Because remember, Israel still has nuclear weapons, and Israel is a very diverse,
I think it was Saudi they got pissed off that I think it was Saudi they got pissed off that they didn't get enough support from the U.S. I think it was Saudi, either Saudi or UAE. I'm thinking Saudi for real. Or Bahrain. But I'm thinking Saudi, due to how tight they are.
Sophisticated economy, whereas Saudi Arabia is completely reliant on oil. And it's always had problems with Iran because Iran is a theocracy opposed to the Saudi monarchy. Iran funds and equips the Houthis, which have been antagonistic towards Saudi Arabia for the longest time. And right now, the Saudi economy is suffering. It's been trying to pivot towards more of a tourist economy. That's why they brought in Ronaldo. That's why they're switching to e-gaming. That's why they're building something called a line, NEOM. And all these things are not working out. So they need to be able to control the oil resources of the entire Middle East if they are to survive and thrive as a nation. So I do believe that this reporting is credible, even though it does make Saudi Arabia look bad. But remember, Saudi Arabia says that they wanted peace, but they are helping the Israelis and the Americans attack Iran right now because they're allowing the Israelis and Americans to use Saudi airspace.
So help us understand, because it still feels to me like there's some pieces that don't totally add up.
You see? So by being friendly with NATO, they put targets on themselves, in a sense, right? being in business with them, allowing NATO countries to bounce off their airports, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, putting and setting up units in there, those radars, right? Those TADs and all that other stuff that's in that region. When they fighting, they have to take out these objectives. They're in a fight right now. So they have to take out these target points. They're trying to blind the defense system. They're trying to knock off runways, right? Create enough disturbance in some areas, knock off communication. The worst thing you could do is fight blind. You ever been punched in the eye? Right? You ever been hit in the nose and you can't see? I think people are very surprised at the response, the level of technology, and how fast they responded and how lethal they are with their response. Like how it's actually turning out. Like how it's actually turning out. I think that's a surprise point for a lot of people. Hitting the nose and can't see. Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? You can't see. So if they knock out the radar, they knock out the antennas, they knock out the TODs, the TADs, sorry, I said TODs. They knock out the TADs. Right? That gives them an advantage still in that region. Right? And if you add in the Horn of Hormuz or the Strait of Hormuz, right, being choked out, now that puts pressure on other countries because other people are going to start suffering. Look at this point right here. Europe is going to start suffering, right? Think about it. Europe is going to start suffering. So they can't support Ukraine anymore because now they got to batten down their hatches. They got to pull up their own socks. They can't pull up Ukraine socks no more for them and help sustain Ukraine in that fucking war. You forgot about that? That shit's still going on. You dig it? So now what does that do? Ukraine is going to be left high and dry. Easy wash at that point. Europe might be forced to start looking for oil elsewhere to maintain their energy sectors. Who's going to give it to them? Think about that for a little bit. Back to we're locking in, we're looking and we're listening. You heard?
You had in advance of this war on Iran, you had top military brass up to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying, this is a really bad idea. We are not ready for this. All the math on the interceptors that's been talked about for months at this point. And yet Trump still decided to go ahead. What is the calculus that he was making here that led him to take what, already appears to be catastrophic actions?
Right. Okay. So this is the key question. Why do they do this? I think there are three possibilities. Okay. And I think all three possibilities are valid. The first is the idea of hubris. You look at history, this is how empires behave. So the Mindoro kidnapping was quick, successful, and it was adrenaline rush for Trump. And that made him overconfident in the capacity of the American military. Okay, so hubris is a factor. And we see this throughout history. Why did Hitler invade Stalin? Because he conquered Europe really easily and he thought it was invincible, right? And that led to the destruction of the German army in the Soviet Union. So hubris is a factor. Then you have to look at internal political calculus, where even though America does not benefit from this war against Iran, Trump himself personally benefits. Why? Because the Saudis and the Israelis are bribing him to attack Iran. Remember that the Saudis invested $2 billion in the private equity fund of Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law of Donald Trump. And the Israelis, through Miriam Adelson, have been financing Trump's political career, right? So Miriam Adelson a few months back said that she will put up $250 million if Trump were to run a third term. So Trump is getting a lot of financial and political support from the Saudis and Israelis.
Remember we mentioned that, right? We mentioned the fact that during war times, you can't have a changeover of power, right? You can't change that administration. Clearly, Lacey has the same policy too. It's a midterm going on right now, right? This is not a popular thing. This is not a popular situation for the president to be in at this time. It's not a popular situation to be in. The people don't want this fucking shit to be going in the first place. Secondly, they want the focus to be in-house and not externally for every Tom, Dick, and fucking Harry to benefit from blood, sweat, and tears of our people. That's been happening for the fucking, what, almost a century now? Yo, it's 2026, dog. It's almost a century of fucking wars. People want to be secure here. They want to feel secured here. They want to feel job security, housing security, 401k security, stock market securities. That's what the fuck they want. This American dream, the land of opportunity shit, that's what the fuck they want. They don't want shit being sent to fucking Ukraine. They don't give a fuck about Ukraine. Let's be fucking honest. Let's be honest. The population here does not give a fuck about Lacey and what the fuck Lacey is fucking doing. They want the businessman that they fucking elected and selected, whatever the fuck the case is, to make the business moves that benefit this land, that benefits the people, the 9-to-5ers, the truckers, the fucking farmers, the doctors, the lawyers, the fucking grocery store people that stock fucking shelves. Everybody here wants the focus to be here. They don't want to have long fucking form arguments about if they could go to the doctor when they break their fucking fingers. That's not what the fuck these people want. They want security in their own fucking land where their ancestors have fucking soiled and toiled and died. And their bones are in the soil. That's what the fuck they want. That's the fucking honest truth. I've only been on this planet 38 years. I've been conscious for about 35 of them, hyper conscious, super aware for about give or take 20 years. Around 20 years, I've been hyper conscious about certain things. People want to have that security in their own lands, bro. They want to have the problems of this land be the problem of this land, and they rather fight that fight in this land and be secure and safe in this land than worry about the shit that people got going on thousands of miles on the other side of this fucking plane. They don't want that shit. They're not jacking it. In case y'all don't fucking know. The polls have spoken for themselves. The energy is there. Nobody's fucking with this shit. Tired of it. They want America to be put first. They want every citizen of America to be treated like a fucking citizen, like they're important. They want their issues to be on the fucking doorsteps and on the desks, right? In the priority file of the people that swear to God they're going to take these oaths and hold it down. That's what the fuck they want. Romello, what up, G? Big salute, my boy. What's on there? Here's a delusional people. Uber America. We have never had a tone. Oh, we never had a time in peace since the creation of this country. It's dog. I was talking about modern warfare, right? But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I was talking about modern, right? More in the modern times, where our grandparents seen some of it, right? Some people have great grandparents seen prior to that. I was talking about a little bit more modern times, but yes, you're absolutely right, G. Appreciate that comment. Big salute. You know what to do in the town square, boy. You need to calm down. You're making it thunder over it. You mean calm down? You need me to calm down? The chimney? What's wrong with you? You getting the belt.
Also remember that if this war goes sideways and Trump is forced to use ground troops, he will probably get approval from Congress, and this will give him emergency war powers, which will allow him to influence the midterms. So Trump is thinking about a third term. And I think at the ballot box, he probably won't get it. But if there's a war going on and you can delay elections and you have emergency war powers and people rally around the flag, then he probably will get a third term. And the last factor that is very important is the eschatological factor, where if you look at the Epstein files, it's clear that we are run by secret societies. It's clear that the world is run by these individuals who have a lot of power. We don't know who they are, but they control the military. They control the national security apparatus. And these people, there are different names for these people. You can call them the Illuminati. And the Illuminati are composed of three major groups, okay? You have the Jesuits, who control the Vatican. You have the Sephardim Frankists, which control the modern state of Israel today. You have the Freemasons, which control the national security apparatus of the United States. And they believe that Israel, this war in the Middle East, is key to the end times in creating heaven on earth. So it's almost like a script that they're following, even though it doesn't make any geopolitical sense. Okay, so I would say that these three are the best reasons why this is happening.
Wow. Well, sir, I hope you come back. This was very informative, I think, for both of us. We deeply appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave.
Okay, that worked way better than I thought it would. So I'm not tripping about that. I'm pretty happy that worked out so smooth. Yay. But that's just the reality, brothers and sisters, cousins and kinfolk, right? Security is what these people want. They want to feel comfortable working a 9 to 5, knowing that they're taken care of. That's not something that's A, unachievable, 2, unreasonable. Is she being chaotic? Does the day end in Y? Well, that's your answer. Is she being chaotic? What the Mello, you know better than that. You know the drill kill? The drill kill? Let me see. I don't want to get ahead of myself. You hear me? And try to get all these videos off. So we'll go back to our regularly scheduled planning and jump back to the Twitter. Because you know Twitter and IG gonna work. Let's go to IG. I saw this little clippy thing. Look, here it go right here. Damn, I'm glad I came over here. Glad I came over here. Here it is right here. I was saying Saudi. I was thinking Saudi. Look at this shit right here. Trump's just a conflict with Iran could last 4 weeks. So that'd be 4 weeks is a month, 30 days. The last one was 12 days. You're doubling down. You hear me? Oh, definitely MSD energy over there, Reaper. Pound for pound. It's just fucking crazy, bro. My phone going crazy right now. Excuse me, but I got you though. Iran officially activates the decentralized Mosaic defense, giving commanders full autonomy for decision making. This is what I was talking about earlier on when they split and they moving separate, but they all have their areas to cover down. They all have their orders already. That's pretty fucking slick, to be honest. Even when you look like it's disjointed, you actually are hyper jointed, and it's just still in motion. That's pretty fucking slick. Germany, France, and UK already take defensive action. Oh yeah, makes sense. Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Bahrain, and UAE say they have the right to respond. They do. Technically, they do. International Atomic Energy Agency says we are trying to contact Iran Nuclear Agency, but nobody. They busy. They busy right now. Gold breaks 5, pushing the milestone. I heard about that too. I gotta call my brother to see what the fuck is going on with that shit. He's big into that shit. Oh, the world's biggest refinery, Tanara, following the drone strike. Yeah, that was. I don't think that was. I'm not gonna say it out loud. I heard it wasn't the people that they think did it. I heard it wasn't them. No Diddy. You know what? Something wrong with that girl, bro. We need to get that girl some medication. Just in imminent security threat warning issued to British soldier station in Cyprus. Oh, that's the Cyprus shit. Yeah, that's why Cyprus was on the list. I do think Cyprus got hit. Remember the other day I wasn't sure about it when we looked at the list? And I said I didn't hear about Cyprus being hit. I heard that they could look at literacy and see what was going on in literacy from Cyprus. I believe Cyprus was hit on that one installation. I believe they did take a hit. Us, not them. So the word on the street was it was them that hit it and made it look like it was Iran. You dig it? Oil prices rise, yeah. Set has bullet top. Yeah, just little click throughs. Oh bullshit. Pacific markets closed. Shipping berserk suspended trade. Okay, so what I heard about this whole thing about the strait being shut down, the strait wasn't, from what I heard, the strait wasn't shut down because of Iran saying we locking this shit the fuck up, or we dropping mines in the strait to make sure no ships can get through. That's not what I gathered from it. What I gathered was that the ships can't move because of the area being so hostile that the insurance and the because the area is so hostile, the potential loss is now like it's higher now. Like let's say they lose a ship, it would be $10. Now it's probably like $25. So it was some crazy thing about the bankers not insuring. It was something about bankers and writing off the notes and all this shit. wasn't necessary that Iran said we about to mine this whole area, so if any ships come through, they get blown the fuck up. That's not what it was that I gathered, and I heard about it yesterday. It's a full blockade. You know the blockade. Like a real shutdown of that shit. They would no shit lock. It'll be different, bro. That shit would look like fucking hell. They would have to mine that area, right? Those water mines. They have to mine that area, then post that rim. Let's go back to it. Come on, G. You know what I need, baby? So they'd have to put mines through this area right here, right? They go from here to here. Put mine, even if they do it here, right? These two distances look like they're about the same. From here to here to here to here. Mine that whole shit. Ain't no subs coming in. Ain't no ships coming in. Ain't no subs going out. Ain't no ships going out. But if they mine this area, and let's say there's ships in here that belong to the U.S., them motherfuckers stuck. So that they stuck in the shooting lane pretty much. If they load this coastline right here, with drones and missiles, they fucked. Anything stuck in here is fucked. Can't go in, can't go out. You're in a shooting lane. A straight shooting lane. You can fire back, you can fight as much as you can fight, but you're a ship. You're not strapped like one of these land bases are going to be strapped up to be. You fucked. I don't think they shut that shit down. I heard it was some of the bankers and the risk was too high and the loss and the insurance. It was something crazy. I'll try to find it again. With somebody that was explaining it. No, it don't stop, bro. It doesn't fucking stop. But yeah, I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear the part about them locking that shit down. That'd be fucking wild. I know they murked a lot of shit over here though. These little ports over here, Dubai, Doha, out here, all these little spots like Bahrain, these ports and shit that's out here. There's another port that they hit. It's the one that's out by, it's the one that's UAE. I think it's Dubai. They knocked that bitch in. So they can't replenish it. It's pretty fucking strategic at the end of the day. Both ends are playing some real cool strategic games. Let's talk about Kuwait real quick. This is where them planes went down at. It was over the chip. The chip technologies. I know you talk about that Taiwanese when Taiwan and all of them was in that fucking chip beef that you talking about? That's the only chips I remember. Taiwan, and China getting to that beef. It was over chips and chips not being available, starving out the market, all types of shit. But That's it. That's all I got for tonight. For real, for real. Y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about? Y'all can punch it in the chat. We could free talk for like maybe 15, 20 minutes. We could just free talk and goof off if y'all want to. Not goof off for real, but we could just free talk whatever y'all got in your brain about the scenario. I'm down. In the meantime, I'm looking for some other vids. You hear me? Try to find some other shit. Oh, the Abraham Accords. Abraham Accords. That's the one that hit my radar today. That started to make a little bit more sense about why it seems to be so much buddy shit going on over there. Yeah, that stuff. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. At least I know a little bit. At least I know what you're talking about. I'm not savvy on it, but I definitely remember that Taiwan shit in Taiwan when China was pressing hella hard. And they was beefing over who's going to get to negotiate and get access to it. So this is a list right here. Is it showing it? On reserve, barrels, Venezuela, Saudi, Iran, Canada, Iraq, UAE, Kuwait, Russia, USA, Libya, Nigeria, Kazakhstan, China, Qatar, Brazil, Nigeria, Ecuador, Norway, Azerbaijan, and Mexico. Right? Look at y'all geeks geeking out. I'm so proud of y'all, dog. They got a little map about it right here. The oil reserves. Let me where is it? No, not that. Not that. Oh, let's talk about this. Let's talk about these last two things and then we could start shutting down for the night. I gotta find me some food to put inside my system here. Look at this shit right here. IDF. Y'all know what IDF is clearly, right? That's Lacy. Attacks Iranian painting and releases it as destroyed a target. I saw this today. I was like, I'm definitely saving this. If this is legit, which I do think is legit, because this is the strategy that's used, not only on the ground, but sometimes what they do with paint is just like how they could create. How do I explain this? They could paint planes in certain ways and certain schemes that help them camouflage, A, or B, help them present as something different. So they could paint certain hard lines and certain colors and certain shapes on it that makes it present differently. Think about painting the bottom of an aircraft a baseline color of the sky. Then it makes it hard for people to see it, right? Because we're talking about visual seeing it. So visuals have a what's called VFR, right? When you fly for VFR, it's called visual flight rules. When you're using your natural human abilities and your human skills. The other one is called IFR, which is instrumental flight rules. When you're really using your instruments, when you're using altimeter, your barometer, using speed, turning bank, all that, using the instruments to really get it off. Optical illusion. That's exactly what it. Okay, that's exactly what it is. Dollars. Thank you. They put paint on certain parts of the aircraft to make them seem. Sometimes they could seem bigger. Sometimes they could seem smaller, or sometimes it could look the exact same size. But what happens is it looks like it doesn't look like the aircraft that you think it is. It's old. It's real old technology. This is and when I saw this is the first thing that came to my mind. I believe Russia implemented this tactic too, also, when they painted the ground pretty much to make it look like it was planes there. So a satellite picking up on it, right? The satellite just pick up on it. You're not necessarily using, oh God, how did I explain this? You're not using a heat-seeking missile or a missile that tracks radar energies, using regular, straight up visual contact. So you see it visually from a satellite or from what you call a camera called a flare. You see it on a flare, you pick it up on the flare, boop, boop. The flare is picking up the imaging of it. And what you do is use, they send it, but it's nothing there. You understand? It's pretty fucking slick, but it works. It's been used for it's been used for a long time. It's not new, but this is saying that Iran used an anamorphic painting on the ground to deceive attacks by U.S. and Lyrsey. Notice in the video how the supposed helicopter hit is actually just a painting on the asphalt. Oh shit! Russia used the same technique in 2023 to fool satellites during the Ukraine. Right? Okay. Boom. Look, it's right there. I didn't even fucking read that. This draws attention to the possibility that many reports from Lyrsey and the U.S. are filled with strikes on false targets of this kind. It shows that Iran is investing in attrition and preparing for a possible long-term conflict. Right? Attrition is. I don't know how to describe this. Attrition is when you wear something down to a weaker point. So think about people in the ring fighting. Think about the first 3 rounds, right? How that fight looks versus the last 2 rounds or the last round. You could see the wear and tear on the arms, right? On the body. You can see that the face is taking wear and tear, right? It's being broken down. And it's not at its 100% fighting capacity. It's broken down, it's weakened. That's what attrition is. The wearing down of something. If that makes sense. I could try to explain it a little bit more, but yeah, that's what attrition is. When they say war of attrition, it's a constant pounding down on something to break down its strength, its fortification. You breaking down its fight back ability, its defense ability, whatever it is. You're just knocking on that motherfucker, just constantly banging on it. Right? It's like that Chinese thing where they're like death by 1,000 drops. That just knocking away. Boop, 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 boop. Right? Boom, you're dead. You just knock and wear down and wear down and wear down. But this is the video right here. Invested in attrition and preparing for a long possible fight. Here we go right here. Boom. This is the video. YouTube, this is not real. Relax. This is not real. I just told you what it was. Boom. This definitely looks like a flare camera, though. It definitely look like a flare running. That's not even thermal. That look like night. That definitely looks like night vision. But here, I think this is more on it. Yeah, this is more on it right here. Can it be real? Can y'all see this? Yeah, I think you can see this. Real, but it has shadows. Military anamorphic paint. Usually use the shadow. Yes. So even when they paint those dark colors on parts of the aircraft, they shadow in certain parts of it with darker colors and regular colors. So you never really get to see the proper shape of it, right? Because when you find VFR, the shape of things becomes important also, right? If your radar goes out and you can't fly with your instrument, but your radar could pick him up, you could probably catch him. It's gonna be pretty close, but you could probably catch him. And when you catch him in sight, because the shadow and the schemes of the paint, you probably won't know what type of aircraft just flew past you. You might think it's a fucking F-15 Eagle, and it's really a fucking a MiG, right? It's really a fucking Sioux. It's really a F-18. That's the purpose of those paint schemes. Fun fact. Military aircraft are painted in certain colors, and it tells you what the purpose of the aircraft is. If you look at how fighter jets and jets with the capability of firepower are painted versus rescue helicopters versus aircraft that just strictly do cargo and evac support and all the other shit, they're painted in different colors. Fun fact. So now you know. You hear me? If you never noticed it, that's why. Or if you have noticed it but never knew the reason why, that's how that works. But maybe the missile was small. Even a small missile impact to shake the entire helicopter, at least the blades. Right. That would have definitely knocked the blades off of it. Explosion was small, maybe enough to destroy the asphalt. Yes. If you go back and look at them, take another look at the video. The blades are just there. Like it's the blades, you see that? It should have dismantled. Right? It's a structure that's standing above. It should have just scattered above. Like the famous painted Da Vinci. Somebody get dollars, please. She about to go on punishment on the gang. Get that belt for a motherfucking ass. I guess this video is to not. But there's debris. This one doesn't have debris. Right. Yeah, that doesn't. That easy day. He wasn't paying no damn airplanes. It's a black ass. That wants some damn Da Vinci. Da Vinci ain't paying no planes. Crazy ass. This is like an F-16. It look exactly like a goddamn F-16, actually. That's kind of cool. I'll have to find the pictures, and maybe I could show you. I'll have to look at the pictures, see if I could show it, because it's a long story about the pictures that I have, but I have them because I ran ops with them already. That's how I know. But I don't know if I could. I think I could show the picture. I'm not sure if I can show the picture. I'm not 100% sure about that. Let me not say that. I think I could show the picture. I think I can't use it. I think I can't copy it or whatever for whatever reason.
We don't know much more. No casualties reported.
The art, man, fuck Da Vinci. Nah, he's cool. I'm joking. I'm gonna take a quick break, yo. I'm at the 2-hour mark. Let me take a quick spinny. I'll be right back. We're gonna finish up the night, watch a video. I think I got a funny video. I think I stashed it. If I didn't, we'll find one to close out the night. But give me like a minute. I can refresh, drain the vein, and I'll be right back here. It's a love thing. Y'all be nice to each other in the chat while I'm away. Y'all monitor Dallas because Dallas is Dallas is Dallas. You hear me? See that pirate flag, boy? See that pirate flag, dog? It's war, motherfucker. Nah. I just like pirate flags. That's it. That is all. That is it. Nothing crazy. Nothing too much. You twerking. Oh, God. Nah, she's not twerking. If you twerking but listening to this show, we don't get you some medication for real. This ain't even Freak Pod. This is some motherfucking war talk pod. You over there twerk. You need a paddle. That belt might just be too luxurious. You hear me? Yo, wild ass.
Has struck Al-Udeid Air Base, as I said, the biggest American base in the region. We don't know much more. No casualties reported as of yet. Again, we don't know what we don't know, but we do know they are saying it was a ballistic missile. It's obviously a significant development. And as that is coming in, we are learning that the CIA is also working to trigger some sort of an uprising inside of Iran. Now, this is a major and potentially explosive.
The who? The who? This is CNN, cuz. This ain't the drunk motherfucker at the corner store. You hear me? With one slipper on and one Jordan on, right? The slipper got socks on it, but the one with the Jordan don't. Nah, this is CNN. This is the MSN. This is legacy. Good old American apple pie motherfucking news here. CIA working with opposition groups. This must be the first time they ever did this. Has to be the first time.
Development in the war. So let me tell you what we know here with these breaking details. Multiple people familiar with the plan are telling CNN that the Trump administration is working to arm Kurdish forces who they
That's how I feel every day. This is how I feel every day. This is my spirit animal right here. My spirit video. Every day is how I feel. The fuck. Reaper peace, my G. You know it's a love thing, my boy. Hold it down. Be safe. Hold it down. You know what to do. 3-star general. Depart in the town square. My guy.
They then expect to take part in a has struck Al-Udeid Air Base, as I said, the biggest American base in the region. We don't know much more. No casualties reported as of yet. Again, we don't know what we don't know, but we do know they are saying it was a ballistic missile. It's obviously a significant development. And as that is coming in, we are learning that the CIA is also working to trigger some sort of an uprising inside of Iran. Now, this is a major and potentially explosive development in the war. So let me tell you what we know here with these breaking details. Multiple people familiar with the plan are telling CNN that the Trump administration is working to arm Kurdish forces, who they then expect to take part in a has struck Al-Udeid.
So the Kurd forces are the ones going to put ground pressure on these motherfuckers. Remember we talking about it? The Kurds will have to come out. You have to come out of Iraq. You have to push through these borders right here. These border lines right here. Baghdad. The Kurds will have to come out of this region. Let me see if I can, hold on. What city the Kurds in? Let me see if that's the thing. I know they're not locked into one area. I know they're not. Northern Iraq, southern Syria, Western Armenia, Turkey. Yeah, okay, so they're not okay, so they gave the whole thing. Yeah. I was definitely I know they're not from a one spot. I was just seeing if there was like a main hub. But no, it's not a main hub. Let's look at the map one more time. Hold on. So they come out of this region right here for sure. Turkey, Syria, Northern Iraq, Azerbaijan, Armenia right here. This is where they coming out of. So they're gonna be coming from a north, most likely like a north eastern push, right? Pushing out of here. North Iraq, Syria, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Armenia. They coming out of this region, pushing them down. Yeah, they're probably gonna hit this region right here. Like if you look at maybe like Baghdad and draw a line from Baghdad to Tehran, from Tehran to the top corner. Let's go to the top corner of Azerbaijan right here. If we draw a line from this corner to Tehran, here to Tehran, from Tehran to Baghdad. The first city they were running to will be Tabriz. From Tabriz, they're running to Kermanshah. No, Kermanshah. Yeah, Kermanshah. Sakiz, Tabriz, Umaria. And it's still mountain though, right? It's probably not as rough as this terrain right here. This terrain right here might be a little bit flat. Where is there a fucking, hold on. Let me see. Okay, so you can see the pitch. You can look at it. You can see this right here. It's a little pitch right here. So this is definitely high mountain. This is mountain, high mountain. This is other regions right here. This might be a little flatter. High mountain. This might be a little flatter. You come over here. Baghdad. Kermanshah, Tabriz. Yeah, these are flatter regions. Well, that makes sense. Because the damn sure ain't coming through motherfucking Pakistan. You ain't coming through Pakistan. You ain't coming through Afghanistan. Not happening. You ain't coming through the Caspian. You're not coming through fucking Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. Nah. You're gonna run right into this fucking shit over here. That terrain that they all share. Because this definitely looks like fucking mountain ranges right here also. Hold on. Can I see this on Google Earth? Wait. Wait, give me 1 second. Let me see what Google Earth option they give me to look at. We'll do it together. We'll do it together. Let's do it. Let's do it. From Google Earth, explore data layers. Man, come on, bro. I just want to see Tehran. Okay, that's Tehran. Find and man, come on, bro. Stop. Fuck. Satellite. Okay, we're pulling out some. Yeah, bruh. Bro, you ain't cutting through this shit. Can I get a fucking, hold on. Contours? Generate contours. No. No. It's just historical image. No. Measure. No. 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 Bruh. You're not cutting through this bitch. Not happening. Nah, ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work, Carl. Look at all this shit. All the way from Afghanistan into Pakistan. Kyrgyzstan. Uzbekistan. Well, not really Uzbekistan, but look how long this mountain range really looks like. Like one fucking mountain range. Punjab, India. Look at this fucking shit, bro. Bhutan, Tibet. Look at this mountain range. Bruh, you fucked. You ain't sliding. You ain't sliding on nobody. Cutting through this bitch. This looks rougher than this. This looks way rougher than this, but this shit still look rough over here. You see? You see the coloration differences? This looks flat. Single color pretty much. This don't look like that. This don't look like this. This looks like this. All these right here look the same. Tajikistan, 10-minute scan. Azerbaijan, Turkey. They come out of this region right here. Tehran, Baghdad, Syria, Turkey, North Iraq, Azerbaijan, Armenia. That's the only way they could get in there, looks like, bro. But either way, let's find the cool video for the night. I'm at 2:30. Golly. I like spending time with y'all. Not that much, though. Fuck, I got shit to do. I ain't ate yet, but now that Reaper hooked the homie up, I might could get some food tonight. You hear me? I might could pick up a sandwich, easy day in the game. Thanks to Reaper being a motherfucking sponsor. I hope y'all can't see this. Oh, God. Oh, here we go. I got one. Here we go. Come on with the games, man.
Why is you knocking on my door like that when I already told you yesterday I don't want no Watchtower magazine?
Man, this ain't even about that. But where'd you get a little squirrel mini hand cannon?
Your mama.
Oh, okay. So you Craig, I'm smoked.
I'm about to be back in bed and you smoked. What do you want?
Now I want me a little mini hand cannon. That's what I want now. You ain't trying to give up the play.
I got it from Roos Icy, all right? Now you can go on and go.
All right, bro, appreciate you. But why you so aggressive? You trying to hurry up and get back to them nuts, huh? You can't wait to put them nuts in your mouth.
You making that joke and you literally known as a pecker of wood.
Ah, touche.
What do you want?
Keep talking to you about this little game changer you got here.
I don't have time for this.
Right, but what type of bullets do that?
That type. Why is you knocking on my door like that when I already told you yesterday I don't want no Watchtower magazine?
Man, this ain't even about that. But where'd you get a little squirrel mini hand cannon?
Your mama.
Oh, okay. So you Craig, I'm smoked.
I'm about to be back in bed and you smoked. What do you want?
Now I want me a little mini hand cannon. That's what I want now. You ain't trying to give up the play.
I got it from Roos Icy, all right? Now you can go on and go.
All right, bro, appreciate you, but why you so aggressive? You trying to hurry up and get back to them nuts, huh? You can't wait to put them nuts in your mouth.
You making that joke, and you literally known as a pecker of wood.
Ah, touche.
What do you want?
Keep talking to you about this little game changer you got here.
I don't have time for this.
Right, but what type of bullets do that thing?
That time. Rocky and why is you knocking on my door like that?
I don't know who you got me confused with talking about bringing in half the worms. I'm not bringing in half the worms. I wasn't raised to do that. But you was. By a fat ass bitch. Yep. I called her a fat bitch. Fat lazy ass act like she can't never watch our eggs. I don't know who you got me confused with talking about bringing in half the worms. I'm not bringing in half the worms. I wasn't raised to do that. But you was. By a fat ass bitch. Yep. I called her a fat bitch. Fat lazy ass act like she can't never watch our eggs. I don't know who you got me confused with talking about bringing in half the worms. I'm not bringing in half the worms.
Ain't no use in struggling because you ain't getting away.
I ain't got to try to get away. Steve here now.
What the hell Steve gonna do?
You go see what yourself.
What's up, Steve? I heard so much about you.
Ooh. Guys, get back to the truck. Everybody back to the truck.
Ooh, I clearly underestimated Steve. Let me go get my pistol. Stay right there, Steve. I'll be right back. Ain't no use in struggling because you ain't getting away.
I ain't got to try to get away. Steve here now.
What the hell Steve gonna do?
You go see what yourself.
What's up, Steve? I heard so much about you.
Ooh. Guys, get back to the truck. Everybody back to the truck.
Ooh, I clearly underestimated Steve. Let me go get my pistol.
All right, one more before we bang out, G. One more. Let me see. Hey, yo.
Get out my way, cat. I don't got time for your bull.
Apparently you ain't got time for no dentist appointment either, but where's your leash at?
I don't need no leash because I ain't no damn puppy.
You ain't no puppy, huh?
That's what I said.
Gotcha,
you mouse munching motherfucker.
You ought to be thanking me for saving you from having to smell your own breath.
Get out my way, cat. I don't got time for your bull.
Apparently you ain't got time for no dentist appointment either, but where's your leash at?
I don't need no leash because I ain't no damn puppy.
You ain't no puppy.
I'm not taking orders from a zebra cat.
Right.
You not gonna what? Close your damn mouth. Is there anything that I could get you, sire?
Good dumbass doggy. You can give me some the out my face for now.
I'm not taking orders from.
This is pretty good.
It's your teacher, Shane. Class in session.
Hey, stop calling me while I'm in class. I don't care. You know how serious I take school, mama. Stop calling me. Sorry, Miss Shay. You dropped your eraser.
All right.
You want some? Nope. That's what it's like being black in America. You want some? You want to give you some here? Nope, credit was denied. I might could let you smell it if you be good. You want some? Nope. Nope. Psych your mind. You ain't getting nothing. You want some? Nope. That's what it's like being.
Yo, the game, bro. Peace, power, prosperity. Y'all know it's a love thing from here to there, dog. Y'all know how we get done when we hit the town square. Ladies, kick up your feet, relax your hair, have some wine, maybe a shot, but never no beer. Generals, y'all know what to do. It's turned and it's burnt when we step in, G. MSG's holding it down from the crown to the motherfucking ground, you heard? It's a love thing, 24/7, 365, whether you dead or you motherfucking alive, dog. You know, nothing you can do about it. Don't try to fight it, son. It is what the fuck it is, you hear me? Remember compassion, remember care, remember because your doorstep dried today don't mean that it won't be soaking wet tomorrow. Take care of yourself so you can take care of people that surround you. Love yourself so you can love the people that is around you. This ain't about fear, right? This is about being prepared. When you're ready, you never got to get ready because guess what? You locked and loaded and steady, dog. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate all the support. Hit the button on the way out, G. Send this joint to the algo, right? Y'all been doing great, hooking me up these last couple of days that we've been talking about this tragedy that we living through together. But you're not alone, G, right? You're not alone. It seems that way sometimes, right? But take that second, get out of your own head, right? Get out of your own mind, your own mental fuckery. Take a breath and realize you're not alone, right? And pain is temporary. It's a cycle. You got to enjoy it. You got to, at least at the minimum, respect the rain to enjoy the sunshine. You heard? And for now, and for this current moment, I'll see y'all soon. Do what you got to do right now, today, to make sure that tomorrow you could do what you want to do, right? Today might be the day of sacrifice to live lavish tomorrow. Peace, power, prosperity to the village gang. He and I is him. Slim Trim, and I'm built to win. This is your humble host that will never do the least, but I will never overdo it, and I will never do the absolute most from coast to coast. See y'all soon. Y'all know what to do. Gang shit.